I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine, but I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had what?
They were using...
In March 2025, the United States launched a series of sweeping military strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen, operations that have continued to the present day. But behind the explosive headlines is an even more startling revelation. The decision to authorize the attacks was discussed not in the secure halls of the Situation Room, but through casual conversation on the encrypted messaging app Signal. In an extraordinary breach, a journalist from a major U.S. magazine was mistakenly invited into the private group chat by a top national security official, allowing him to read every message exchanged between members of the administration. At the White House, the president convened his cabinet as if nothing had happened, maintaining that he knew nothing about the messaging mishap. He downplayed the entire situation, mocking the publication involved and brushing off concerns with typical bravado. But the leak had already exposed a raw undercurrent in the administration's thinking. The private Signal Group, which included top figures from the defense and national security apparatus, reveals how the administration viewed the Houthi attacks not as an American responsibility, but as a European problem. With the Red Sea a vital artery for European trade flowing through the Suez Canal, one high-ranking official voiced frustration, lamenting that he just hates bailing Europe out again. Another official echoed the sentiment, criticizing what he called European freeloading and calling it pathetic. After the initial wave of airstrikes, the group messaged each other congratulatory emojis, fist bumps, American flags, and fire symbols, displaying a cavalier attitude toward what were, in essence, acts of war. The discussion even included classified intelligence and military planning, all exposed to a journalist who had been silently watching the entire conversation unfold. Analysts warned that had the journalist chosen to leak the details prior to the strikes, the consequences could have been catastrophic, giving adversaries the chance to prepare or retaliate. A Democratic congresswoman, long an advocate for stronger oversight of how intelligence is handled, has since written to House leadership demanding a full investigation. She cited a potential violation of the Espionage Act, raising alarms about whether the breach was due to willful misconduct, ignorance, or simply gross negligence. The stakes, she warned, were not just about national security but possibly about breaking federal law. The scandal deepens knowing that departments like the Pentagon and the CIA had already flagged vulnerabilities in apps like Signal. While encrypted, these tools do not match the secure standards of official government communication channels, especially not when user error invites a member of the press into the room where virtual war decisions are being made. The implications go beyond operational recklessness. They expose the informal, unguarded, and at times flippant manner in which major policy is being shaped and global power is being wielded. Meanwhile, the optics and tone of the administration continue to raise eyebrows across the world. As one analyst put it, American officials seem to praise authoritarian leaders like Vladimir Putin more often than their democratic allies, with admiration expressed publicly and even more strongly behind closed doors. European leaders are left reeling at the blunt disdain laid bare in these chats. Diplomatic alliances strained by revelations of deep-seated contempt. What was once a quiet suspicion among America's allies is now on full display. Public support for Europe may be little more than political theater. For many, this incident doesn't just signal a national security blunder. It's a warning flare about the way the U.S. is recalibrating its stance in the world. Statements about foreign territories like Canada or Gaza, once dismissed as rhetorical flourishes, are now being scrutinized more seriously. The underlying message is clear. When this administration says something, it should be taken at face value. Attention turns to Greenland as discussions of U.S. influence in the Arctic heat up. One of the president's sons previously traveled to the region just before the last election, and now, within a single week, two key figures from the administration are also heading to Greenland. The same official behind the Signal security breach is reportedly visiting a U.S. space base in the remote far north, while the vice president's wife, until recently politically low profile, is attending a dog sledding event, a seemingly innocuous visit that raises diplomatic questions.